Welcome, everybody, to the Tabletop Express. Before I bring my guest in, I just want to thank you for coming aboard the Express tonight. And I'm excited tonight to be joined by Chris Porter. You've seen him on the channel before. He was part of a designer interview on our Creator Corner series, but we are back with Chris tonight because we're going to talk a little bit about PAX Unplugged in our continuing coverage of PAX Unplugged, which will go not just through the event, but beyond as we do some reviews and additional post recaps, etc. But without further ado, I'm going to bring in Chris Porter, Chris Couch Games.
What's up? What's up? It's good to be here. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, no, I am so happy to have you. And first and foremost, welcome back. I am excited about this topic because as we try to do some things a little bit different around here, one of the things that I wanted to hit on is this process of getting ready for PAX Unplugged from all these different angles. And yours is a unique perspective because as I can kind of showcase, when I first met you last year, it was very much because we came and sat down at the table where you were off in kind of the more play area. You didn't have a booth, but we were demoing your game at the time, which has, if people have seen the photos since, it's evolved so much from this prototype, right? But we were there and we were playing Holiday Hills, and I just remember it was such a great experience. You were very, very busy, and I know it was a little bit different than what you're kind of looking at this year. So I'm intrigued for you. What is the experience like now compared to last year? And what are the biggest challenges or maybe not so much? What's easier as well? I mean, some of the stuff is probably a little bit harder when you're going from being at a table to having a full booth.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different experience. Last year, I was a part of the PAX Insider program where we got to have a demo table for, a certain amount of hours every day. And then we could kind of sign up for other things based off how ready our game was. My game was pretty far along, so I got a few more opportunities than a couple other people that were involved because their games were just kind of like further behind. So it was pretty busy last year, and last year it was me running around all the time. Like I had to go over the unpub, and then I had to come down to the demo table, then I had to go all the way across the hall, and everything was like 15 minutes in between.
Yep.
So it's like way more difficult to plan to just enjoy the convention and also just be able to do everything when you have such a sporadic like schedule in terms of like transporting the game, packing it all up, getting it to a new place. And this year, being a vendor, it's significantly easier because I know I'm just going to be in this one spot. I got to make sure my one spot is good, and I can kind of plan engagement with everyone coming by or people that don't know who we are. Like I've got cool engaging like things for that. So that's the biggest difference. It's very fun to plan it all out though. We've got some really cool stuff planned.
Yeah, you do have a lot of good stuff happening, and I'm excited by kind of what that all looks like. We'll give people a look at it. I mean, let's just show people look too, though, of the behind the scenes now, because I think it's really fascinating with some of the stuff you shared. I mean, you're talking about boxes upon boxes, right? That you've got to transport, because part of this is you've got to get this stuff to the venue and then set it all up. I mean, and then again, I've talked to a lot of vendors in the past, and it's very much about also with the stuff that you're selling, trying to get it out of there. But it all depends on because there's a cost associated with that. So there's a tons of costs associated with this outside of just paying for and getting the booth. So there's a lot going on, I imagine.
Yeah, it's different for everybody. It just depends on kind of where you're at. Where I'm at, it's even more expensive because of just the way that things have kind of fallen with tariff policy and everything like that, and getting our inventory in. Normally you have inventory in hand and then you can either transport it there manually, like driving it there yourself, or you can have it shipped there through your distributor, or you can work with PAX Unplugged. They have like a specific vendor that you have to ship through to pick up, so you can do that. Sometimes that can be really expensive and also just kind of stressful because you don't know like the people. So for me and us, we needed to get some inventory shipped, air freighted over. So that was really expensive to get that air freighted over in time for the convention. So you add that cost to driving it up to PAX, because we couldn't get it shipped there and then pick it up and everything. So we've got to drive it there, which gives us a bit more control, but it takes a lot more time. We've got to get the right kind of vehicle to transport everything. So there's a lot of variables. But I mean, literally today, my whole day was filled with me getting a U-Haul, picking up my air freight boxes, and transporting them from like two different warehouses to my living room, hauling one box at a time. Like that is that was my day. So, and that's the kind of stuff you have to do like when you're starting out.
Yeah, and the thing that's really interesting to me is you've got all these boxes, but you've also got a display that's going to be there. And
Mhm.
obviously, it's interesting because you need something that's both functional, but at the same time visually appealing, right? So what is that challenge like for you when you're thinking about designing the space? And obviously you're going to use this in more than one area, right? But you have new products and new games, and you've been working with a bunch of different people. We're going to get into a preview of what's coming, because we see the question here of, are we going to get to see Vector? So we'll dig in, I know, to some of those aspects, but I imagine with that ever changing aspect, designing what your space will look like, and also based on what you're able to get at PAX, are just another layer of challenge for you.
Yeah. Once you start kind of deciding you want to do this as a vendor, you got to invest in vendor stuff. And you got to invest in stuff that isn't just a one-off, right? Like you print it and then it's got a time frame. Like it's not going to you can't use it again. It's got to be stuff that you can use all the time. So pretty early this year, we invested in a really good booth setup, something that's easy to tear or put up and tear down really quickly, and also very visually appealing. And it creates an open space because whenever I'm a vendor, I want people to feel like they can come into the booth and not just like sit in and be at a table and you give a demo and then do you want to buy it? Like I want people to walk in, really think about that. Then you've got like what James is saying, you've got power stuff. If you got power needs, like I bought a battery pack, right? That's this camping battery pack because we've got some fun stuff that we'll need some power for, and I don't want to pay for it every time we go to a vendor hall, right? Like I'm going to have my own little power source, Wi-Fi. If you got to have that, you might have to invest in internet hotspots. But yeah, we I like to have a very engaging booth. So having really good visuals, things that don't require people to bend over to look,
Yep.
things that they're already standing, let them stand, walk up, enjoy it. And also a place to sit down and have meetings. So we've got meetings that we'll be doing and showing off demos. So you've got the games you want to sell, the games you want to preview, and those will switch up and change up over the course of the convention. But it's a lot of planning. It's really fun though.
It's interesting though how much it's evolved, because again, last time we saw you, you're sitting here talking about this one game, right?
Right.
And I know you had thoughts of the future and other pieces, and you had a previous published game, but it's a solitary focus at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things that to see you in 1 year go from where you were to where you are is really neat. It's an evolution, right? And I was intrigued because you sent over the photo. I believe this was not your living room, but this was an example of your
Yeah.
stuff set up. And I want people to see this because we see these setups in a giant convention hall, but put it to scale when you look at it like this. Like this is
Yeah.
set up in the living room. You get an idea of some of the things people are going to see, right? But
Mhm.
look at how that ends up scaling, in such a smaller space, and think about the storage and all the other things. So I there's just an appreciation that I have for this particular photo for that reason. But again, to your point, visually grabbing your attention, and you have that as you noted, those spots where people can come up and stand. I mean, um, when you are 6'5", you may have to bend over regardless of what you
Yeah.
do.
True.
Uh,
Yeah.
Marcel, by the way, happy to point out that he's 5'6", so he doesn't have to duck.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then Jamie's in happy to see the booth at PAX U. So yeah, talk to me a little bit about when you even have to ship this stuff. Like how does this stuff pack effectively? How are you getting this all there? Is it the same process, all in that U-Haul and everything has to fit in there and you're just trying to get the right size U-Haul for everything? How does it kind of all work for you?
Yeah, so we're going to be taking a Ford Transit XLT. So I've been doing a lot of looking into the best kind of vehicles because it's me and two volunteers, two of my good friends are coming with me. So normally I'd get a 2-passenger van and I'd have a lot more storage space
Yep.
and then you don't have to worry about it. But when you have 3 people, you need an extra seat, which means you got to be really creative with how you got to do it. So when I pick up the vehicle like the day before we need to travel, I'll get the vehicle and then I only got to take out like 4 rows of seats, leaving 1 seat behind, load up everything in like a very particular, like I have literally a schematic of how it has to be loaded into the vehicle for everything to fit. And then, we'll drive it all up there nice and slow, 17-hour drive, like crazy amount of time. And then we have a specific time to set up and everything, but our booth is really easy to set up. Like it'll take us 30 minutes to set up and get everything. And it'll change. I like modularity in booths, so like
Yep.
we'll be able to change which games we're promoting on the stand-ups. We'll have a third stand-up that's different from this. We're actually going to have some guests come through every day that I don't have images for those, but we'll have guests come through every day at the booth for special events. And then we'll also have, some games that people, because one thing about PAX that's really beneficial is different than Gen Con, it's way more open. Like the hallways are much wider. So even though your booth might be a little tight, it feels breathable because you just can breathe, like actually take a breath. So we'll have games that people can like just come up and pick off the shelf, like over on the left side of our booth. And then we'll have activations at the top right corner where like my little laptop is. That'll be where we have another stand and have activations at that. So
Very cool. I have a very important question I have to pose to you from Dan. Dan wants to know how many pairs of sneakers you plan on bringing.
that is the one of the fun things about this. I've got a sneaker plan for every day. So it's only a 3-day con, but I have my con shoes and then my post con shoes. So we will have carpet or like cushion in our booth so I can wear like my nicer kicks because I don't have to like worry about my feet dying. So I'll probably bring 5 pairs of shoes. I think it's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Three kind of showcase shoes and 1 rough and just I don't care if this gets dirty shoe, and then another one just like pure comfort.
You almost a shoe to get there and then a get comfortable in the booth shoe.
Yeah, I have literally a driving shoe, like a shoe that I only wear to drive.
The shoe before the shoe, as Dan has put it here.
Yep.
Uh,
100%.
so I wanted to mention too, just for people, that there, you're obviously going to be available to be found pretty easy. Once a map comes out, people will find it super easy, but it's booth 3957. We're going to get into some of the specials. But if you go onto the PAX Unplugged website, you can search for Chris Couch Games and this is going to come up. And so you'll be able to see booth 3597. I think you said it's like the upper right-hand side.
Yeah, it'll be like upper right area. We don't have the exact location yet, but basically when you look at the map, probably like a week or 2 before, or I guess we're 2 weeks out now, but the week of, they'll release it onto the app and everything, and we'll be most likely like towards the right, upper right.
Yeah. And like I said, I haven't looked at I have to re-download the app myself, but I know that the app generally will make sure you get that. It's useful to find that. So let's talk a little bit though about some of those, because you've got some great things planned. And that's the other part of this is planning reasons for people to come by, right? Other than just stumbling upon or coming by. I wager when people see things like Holiday Hills and stuff are examples of these kind of games. It's so seasonal, right? So that's one thing I know we talked about last year when you were on Creators Corner of just like the seasonal value of a game and what it does for attention at this particular time of year. In particular, even last time it was literally December. So
Yeah.
it was, high on our list. I know, because we're doing our video next week of like the 5 games we want to play or demo at PAX Unplugged.
Mm-hmm.
I remember us talking about Holiday Hills being on our list last year.
Yeah.
Because thematically that time of year, of course, but you have some good stuff planned. So maybe you can walk through some of the things, including the demos, the other events that you're doing. I know these might not be in the exact order you sent me, but maybe you can walk us through here.
Yeah, so we've got 3 games kind of lined up for next year that we're going to be either releasing or going to crowdfunding. Garden Club is our most recent announcement, and that is from co-designers Kristen Mott and Andrew Stiles. It's a fun tile laying game with a lot of modularity in it. It's really cozy, cute, but sneakily strategic. That's kind of our mantra. We want all of our games to be sneakily strategic. So that's going to be on demo, as well as Vector, which is one of our in-house creative games, and that is coming along really nicely. It's still in very much prototype looking phase, but gameplay wise, it's really singing along. And we showed it off at Stonemeyer Design Day last month, and it got in top 10 for the games there, which was really, really great, because there's a lot of games that get through there, and a lot of those get published. So that was pretty exciting. And then Haunted Hills, which is our sequel to Holiday Hills, that is the only one of those that's a prototype cover. Vector it'll tweak a little bit. The theme of it will stay space, but we're actually got a little secret theme hook that we're not revealing yet for that. That if you come by the booth, you get to learn the secret theme change.
So go by the booth. There we go.
Come by the booth, and you'll be one of the only few people that know this theme, and no one else has ever done it. It's still space. It's still like the same look and feel, but there's a cool little thing that we're doing that is pretty unique. So those will be demoing. Yeah.
And then Santa, I mean, talk about the season.
Yeah. So obviously when PAX is normally in December, it's a bit more cold and everything and thematic, and they've got the tree up and everything. But that Sunday is supposed to be the first day that the tree in Philadelphia's like square goes up. So we've got our own Santa that will be at the booth from 11 to 2 p.m. We will be doing free photos with Santa. We'll have a Christmas tree there as well, so you can bring your kids. That's typically family day. So if you've got kids, come bring them on through. We'll have pictures with Santa. And we also will have daily giveaways. So we'll have we've got our Kraken dice tower for our game Kraken Skulls, and we've got Christmas dice and Kraken dice. You can feed the Kraken for opportunities to get literally free games. We've got presents from Santa that he will be giving out for people on Sunday. If you feed the Kraken, you can get a gift from Santa from games from various different publishers. So come through and get a free game.
Dr. J will be coming by. So there you go.
Sweet.
I love to, I have to say, when I saw the Santa piece, when you sent over the photo before, I'm like, that's awesome. And I maybe Santa's appeared before. In the years I've been going, I don't remember seeing Santa unless someone dressed up, but it's so perfect. I feel like, and it might become a thing people look forward to every year if you're not too careful. Cause I think everyone loves a good photo of Santa, right?
Yeah, I mean, we hope that every year that we come to PAX, we'll have Santa more often than just the one day, but it just worked out for this time to have them. And yeah, Krampus was there last year with I think Ravensburger. Is that who it was?
Yeah, it was around the Horrified release, because I have a great photo of Anthony, co-conductor here on the Tabletop Express, with Krampus. Awesome photo. But you got more. You have some other opportunities, which includes Meet the Designer for Jingle Bell Roll, which everyone loves these Meet Designer opportunities, and I like them in particularly because obviously on this channel we talk to a lot of designers, and hearing that hearing that story behind their design and what they've done and how they've done it is always fun. But it's always great to get to meet someone, and
Mhm.
especially if you got a chance to get a signature or something like that. It's a special little addition to your game.
Yeah, Marcus will be there. He'll probably be in and out throughout the whole convention. We'll have a specific time frame for him, probably Friday and Saturday, for him to come through and show off the game, get a signature, get a photo, and everything. He's an incredible designer and really great person, and I'm thrilled that he's able to come. It wasn't for sure if he was going to be able to make it, so I'm hyped that he's going to be there, and he's got to see our first sample of the game. He was at Stonemeyer Design Day too, so I got to show him the latest NPC of the game. But now people are going to be buying the game and everything. It's just like a great time to celebrate his creativity, so it's super exciting.
Awesome. And then you do have the pre-order pickup on some of your stuff, obviously. So
Mhm.
people will be able to do that, it looks like, based on what we're seeing here.
Yeah, we will only have around 200 copies of Holiday Hills and Jingle Bell Roll, and we'll only have about 25 of the expansion content and some promos. We'll have around 100, 150 of Kraken Skulls. So, it's not a ton of inventory we're able to bring, but we're hopeful that people will really enjoy it and engage with it. And last year, you got to experience just our demo table
Yep.
without any marketing, and it was nonstop busy with just a banner. So I'm
Yep.
hopeful that we have a whole setup, we've got a big get up, and then people will be really intrigued and excited to get their hands on the game, especially because Christmas is right here. So
Oh yeah, and on this channel in particular, Anthony's, as we say, the holiday person. Not that we all don't like the holidays, we do, but
mhm.
if a game is a holiday game, it's in his collection by
Yeah.
default. We know that he's going to have it. So I remember when again we saw it was happening, we jumped on it immediately, and it is it will be a staple. Marcel wants to hear a little bit more, if you don't mind talking
Mhm.
a little bit about Jingle Bell Roll.
Yeah, so Jingle Bell Roll is a really cool, sweet, snappy, push your luck Christmas dice game. So in this game, you'll go over 5 rounds, and you will have these different dice that you're going to be chucking Yahtzee style with 3 rounds, and you're trying to get these combinations of points. And I've got it here beside me so I can hold up the scoring board. But this is sort of the scoring board for Jingle Bell Roll. So um, if you happen to roll 7 bells at any time, you automatically win the game. So that's pretty difficult to do.
Mhm.
For every pair of milk and cookies that you get, you will earn 4 points. But milk and cookies themselves, you do not score points. Stockings, the more stockings you get, the more points you get. Gifts, the more gifts you roll, they're worth a lot of points. But you also have these gift cards that you will be scoring. So every time you score a gift, you have to give another player a gift card,
Mm.
which helps them to mitigate their dice on a future turn. The bells, if you roll a bell that locks a die, you can't re-roll it. But for the more bells that you earn, you actually get to add letters to Santa to your mailbox. These letters to Santa give you a slight engine build. So over the course of the 5 rounds, as you add letters to your mailbox here, for instance, if you rolled 4 bells, you could earn a permanent milk icon for the rest of the game. So you would put that in your mailbox, and now all you need is 1 cookie to score a pair of milk and cookies. And then one of my most fun aspects of this game is that the Santa's list on the die, you have to roll 2 of them exactly, because Santa checks his list twice. So you will bust if you roll 3 or if you only have 1. So if you roll 2 early and you choose to keep re-rolling the die, you might bust because you might have 3 Santa's list. So
By the way, Dr. J pointing out, Holly Hills, first stop, Holly Hills. I showed my daughter, and she said I must come home with this game. Same thing happened 2 years ago with Santa's Workshop. So yeah,
yeah.
that's yeah. And then Holly Hills availability outside of PAX U. What's the story on that one?
Yeah, so our games are getting on a ship now. So you can pre-order, like if you're not able to go to PAX, you can still pre-order the game. through our site. We'll have official pre-orders open probably next week. And right now we're getting, again, because of the whole recent tariff thing, it basically delayed our ability to ship our games, because if we would have shipped our games, we would have got hit with $60,000 in fees, which would have bankrupt me. So we can't do that. So we had to wait about 30 days, to get our games on a boat, which put us behind getting it for sure guaranteed for Christmas. We hope that it'll arrive the week of Christmas, and we can get them shipped out. But if it doesn't, it'll be like the week after, or at most 2 weeks after Christmas. So,
Yeah.
you can still get your hands on it and get some cool stuff. If you come by the booth, we've got some cool promos for everything. And if you back the game, I don't have an image for this, but if you did back the game on Kickstarter, come by the booth. You have a backer only promo that you can get from us, because we want to make sure that our backers feel, cared for. So we have exclusive backer only promos for y'all. But yeah, this is some more promos.
And I assume your website would be the place for ordering on something like Jingle Bell Roll at this point.
Yeah. The website is the best place to go. We've got a few US-based retailers, but not a ton. So our website's going to be the go-to place to get it. And we've got different expansions. Like for Jingle Bell Roll, there's a Naughtier Dice expansion, which adds a bit more meanness and some cool, it adds reindeer and things like that. But yeah, we've got a Kraken Skulls promo.
We could talk some promos here, because it looks like at PAX Unplugged, you got the Kraken Skulls one that you mentioned.
Yeah, so we've got promos for every one of our games. This is a Tariff Island promo, just to try to have a little fun and with all the stuff going on. And this adds some cool variability to the game, allowing you to get treasure quicker in the game. So it's a promo you can get for free for buying the game. And then Jingle Bell Roll, we are going to have our pals over at West Coast design. They've designed Snakes of Wrath, Desperate Oasis, and they have a new game coming out called Fruit Boss that is going to be premiering at PAX. So they're good friends of mine. We have a crossover promo with them. So this is a crossover with their game, and then they're going to have their own holiday-based crossover for Jingle Bell Roll and for our game. So if you get a copy of Jingle Bell Roll, you can get one of these promos, either the Lucky Cat or the Fruitcake. So the Lucky Cat is a character in their game, so you get some cool variability there. And then we also have 2 promos for Holiday Hills. So if you want, you can pick up this sort of mini expansion on the left. We're using these wooden bells in the game to get more points, or you can get a specific card for decoration objectives that you can add to the game. And we're going to have plenty of these. So like, let's say that we sold out of Holiday Hills or Jingle Bell Roll, we should still be able to give you a promo. So like if you pre-ordered there at the booth, if we sell out, you could still get yourself one of the promo cards.
Oh, awesome. I'm sure that was going to be a question, is what if I can't get the promo? Is there a way to get it? So
yeah, if we run out of promos, we'll reprint the promos and send you the promo later. So
yeah, you've got a full slate of stuff happening. It's really neat to see. And one of the things that I think is really cool is you've also been supporting these different designers. Anytime we've got to meet Andrew, and Andrew's fantastic. It's exciting to see his name out there. But everyone really that you get involved. I guess the question I wanted to ask you was, ultimately you're going to be at PAX Unplugged, and obviously I'd like to think, hopefully we'll catch you at PAX Unplugged most years. But when it comes down to kind of where you are going with Chris Couch Games, where are you at right now as you're coming to the end of a year? And is there, without telling me any secrets, right? Anything that we can look forward to kind of in the year ahead, beyond PAX Unplugged?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to become pretty much the only one of the, it might be the only, it might be one of the only few, but there's not a lot of Black-owned publishing companies in this industry. Like, if any, in the hobby space, there's a lot of like party game Black-owned companies. So I'm trying to be something that can get more kids that look like me involved in this and that they could be inspired by it. So that's ultimately my biggest goal. And that is through collaboration with really talented people, like the designers that we've signed games with recently. I love working with people. I love working with folks like yourself that are doing really cool creative stuff. So for the future for us next year and beyond is to be at every major convention. You know, we're trying to get into Gen Con. We're trying to get into Origins. We're trying to get into BGG after that, one of those. You know, I want to be at it. I want to be very present, and be very visible. And I think that's important to do. And so that's ultimately the goal. And eventually, I think we want to be releasing 2 to 3 games every year, at least. And next year, the idea is to probably release. Well, I hope to have at least 2 crowdfunding campaigns, probably 3, with one new release coming in the year, fulfilling that year. And then we'll announce probably 2 new games for the following year, and we'll just kind of keep that cycle going. But Garden Club is our next one up to deck. We're pretty far along in the art for that, and we're just finalizing a few game mechanics, and we hope to do that in Q1 of next year, and then that'll release probably Q3 of next year. And we'll follow that up with Haunted Hills crowdfunding around October. And then Vector, we'll just kind of see where Vector lands. It might be a summer Kickstarter, it might be a late fall Kickstarter. We're not totally sure just yet, but we got to make sure we nail a few more aspects of the art with that before we start doing that design. But the game is coming along really nicely.
No, and that's exciting. And I know for those who are, again, looking to support you and come by and learn more, I'm going to just encourage people to go talk to Chris. I mean, I honestly, the biggest thing I can say, and I say this as someone who, just so people hear kind of the end to what I started this with, was I remember last year you had posted in like the reviewers group or whatever it was that, hey, I have this game, right? And we reached out, instantaneous response, here, cleared this ring a beat, let's connect up, etc. And you're just someone I want to encourage people to come say hi to, like even just anything, say hi, introduce yourself to Chris, because definitely someone who'll give you the time of the day as much as you have the time at a busy event like that. um but truthfully, this is a hobby for so many people, right? We are talking very much about the business perspective and this behind the scenes with PAX Unplugged and prepping, but as a hobby, good people are what make it a great hobby, right? And in my opinion, you are one of those good people. So I'm just really excited to see that success that's happened. And we do have a good question here, which is from Marcel. Anything you're looking forward to seeing well at PAX outside of the con? I know the con can be busy, but are you trying to get out, for example, maybe to see the tree on Sunday? I depending on your schedule. I mean, that's unfortunately on that Sunday, but is there anything that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, there's an event that I missed last year, the Indie Night Market, I think is what it's called.
Yes.
And do you have to have a ticket for that?
No, but you got to get in a line. And
Okay, yeah.
That's the biggest thing. You got to get in a line. And I remember last year, because on our Saturday, I'm usually at the hotel holding down a few seats for our kind of like Tabletop Express mini con with the Discord community. But a bunch of people are trying to get to it, and it shut down quick. Like people could not get in. So it's going to be like a get in a line. I don't know how it'll be organized this year, outside of if it'll be improvements, because I don't think they expected what they got last year. But it was such a cool thing to see what people came out of that event with those indie games. Oh yeah, as Dr. J says here, you have to get in line early.
Yeah, that's one that I don't know if I'll be able to get in or not, but that's pretty exciting. I love the idea of that event. I'm really looking forward to going by Unpub.
Yes.
I love seeing the creativity of people, and also now I have the capability to sign games. You know, we signed another game this week. Can't talk about it yet, but we signed another one that'll be probably for our 2027 slate. And I'm taking pitches as well at the booth. So if you are a designer going to be there, I don't have a lot of time slots, but you can totally come through and we can chat and would love to hear about it. So that's really kind of my focus is that side of things. But I also, since we have people working the booth, I want to be able to just walk around PAX and pick up a couple games myself. I got my own channel, so like I want to do some browsing and checking out cool things because I'm a gamer just like y'all. Like
Yep.
I'm addicted the same way. So like I'm looking at the BGG list and like making my must haves and everything. So I'm in the same boat as y'all, like trying to find the next cool thing.
Yeah, and I know you get there's inspiration that can come from that. Playing games
Mhm.
can provide this inspiration, but yeah, by the way, Jamie pointing out, yeah, we got in line and it felt so early, but it was already shut down. So yeah, that we'll see what they do this year with that. I want to give everyone a friendly reminder though, because again, if you could give everybody your booth number,
Yeah.
and make sure I'm just gonna encourage people to go stop by. Obviously, you already mentioned kind of some of the stock stuff there, right? But go check out the booth, go say hi, and see some of these games, because it is again, it's an evolution if you go from what Chris was doing
Mhm.
last year versus now. And I did want to ask you as well, if for obviously I know I've already set up to connect with you at the event, so that's already on the docket. But if there is anyone who's media watching, are they able to also register for some time with you at the event too?
Yeah, yeah. Reach out to me on Instagram through our Chris Couch Games account. That's going to be the easiest way just to get to me directly. Drop me a DM and I can send you my sign up list. There's not, like I said, there's not a lot of times left on that, but depending upon if it gets full, then I'll add a few more.
Yep.
Because as much as I love having volunteers, I also just love showing the game myself, like because I am the designer for Holiday Hill. So for me, like, we've got Marcus coming and meeting people. I want to show off it in this way too. So I won't be taking meetings the whole con like a lot of other publishers. They'll basically have enough people where they can meet all day.
Right.
I won't do that, but maybe in the coming years we'll do
All the
something.
more reason to reach out now is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Reach out now because I only have maybe like 5 or 6 more spots. So
Awesome. Well, look, I want to say thank you to you. I appreciate you taking time to chat with me tonight to kind of give us a preview of what's going to be there, but also that behind the scenes. What does it take? I mean, again, I go back to that. I still go back to this one visual that we had up on the screen, and I'm going to bring it back up. But like, put that in perspective, folks.
mhm.
Like that takes up a lot more space than it looks like,
Yeah.
because it looks small when you look at it in one of those con spaces. But
Mhm.
I appreciate all that you do, and I thank you for taking time to kind of give us some of that backstory. And then Chris does have his own channel, so I'm going to also make sure I put the link in the revised description to this, so you can go check that channel out. He does awesome stuff, Facebook, YouTube, all over the place. And more importantly, go say hi to Chris at PAX Unplugged. Chris, anything else you want to leave us with before we shut this down?
Yes, come by 3957 Chris Couch Games. We'll have some really cool pop-up stuff. Like I said, we've got at least 6 games available for sale. We've got expansions, we've got promos, we'll have demos of exciting new stuff. And I just want to see y'all's beautiful faces at this convention and just say hey, and remember to just kick back and play, just enjoy this great hobby and all the creativity that goes into it. So I appreciate the time, man. It's been cool to share more of my experience.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Big video next week. Anthony and I will be talking about 5 games that we are most excited to try and play, because our goal is play more than anything this
Yeah.
year. We'll come back with review copies that for the next few months you're going to be hearing about, but we want to get games to the table. We've already booked a few things that I can't
Mhm.
even talk about. But we've booked some things and I cannot wait. With that said, tune in next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll wrap up our previewing of PAX Unplugged. We'll be off the week after. We may have a guest because we have tended to have a guest spot in that week, but stay tuned to the channel because we'll certainly drop some stuff. And More than anything, if you are not a member of our Discord, I will be updating the description for this YouTube video within the next 24 hours of this being live with that link again. So please go check it out. Join us. We have an entire PAX Unplugged section. This is our home con. It's 2 hours away from us. So we love it. And it literally is what we spend probably a quarter of the year doing things based on, between reviews and our covering of it and our previewing it. So we love this con, and we will celebrate it. And this is the second to last chance I have to say also Saturday night, if you're in our community, please come on down. Home 2 Suites lobby. We will definitely be there playing games all night. And we do this little mini con at the con every year. And I would encourage you to come by, hang out with us. We always have a great time. So
that sounds like a blast right there.
Oh, it's always fun. I'm usually up. I'm the last one to go to bed on an average year with it. I think it's been every time. So we'll see if I can keep that up over, I'm not getting younger, but young enough, I can still do it. So with that, I say thank you to you, Chris, for joining me tonight. I can't wait to see everybody next week as we talk about some of those games and some of the other things we're looking forward to, but in particular, those games that we want to play. You may be able to predict a few of those, but we'll see. And with that, I say thank you and good night to everyone. We will see you next week. Have a good one.
Adios.